Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. Maybe some of you getting into your automobiles. You're preparing to make the trek home. Your workday done. Congratulations. We'll try to make it jiffy quick for you and entertaining as you drive home. Thank you wherever you might be listening. In your automobiles, your homes, your places of business, or parts unknown. We also appreciate you listening on a variety of different platforms. 99.7 FM on your FM dial from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. Of course, we're on Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, our own app, SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. Find us anywhere there and stream us. We're on podcast formats. We're on just any Apple, And then, of course, there's the Talk TV side of things, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and now Rumble, 99.7 WTN. Just type 997 WTN. There's no point in putting the point. That's the way I always remember to not put the point. There's no point in the point, so you don't have to put the point in there. Been having a good day so far, relatively speaking, Epstein-free, as we talk about some of the other matters in front of the American people and some of the other things of interest to us on the show today, to include the president's health. We'll get into that in just a moment. Plus, a bit of a follow-up on a story that we began discussing last hour, and that's the defunding of NPR and the defunding of PBS. Look, as I said last hour, there are decent enough programs that I will watch from time to time on these formats. Dwayne writes in and says, when there's absolutely nothing worth watching, I'm watching Tennessee Crossroads. Who was the guy? He recently passed away, the host of Tennessee Crossroads. I know that I'll get inundated with his name on the super text line, but he was great. God rest his soul. And I watch Tennessee Crossroads. Tennessee Crossroads oftentimes would inform me where to travel on my motorcycle. You don't know this, Jackson, because you're not a cultured man. You're watching some slop like 911 or playing college football.
You would love to play college football. Let's not get that one twisted.
I would. I'm waiting on you to make good on your promise to bring your PlayStation up here to
Got to wait for that shoulder to heal.
I don't know. The hands work, man. I mean, what am I doing
Buddy,
with the shoulder?
I would dust you. You need.
I mean, you would dust me with both shoulders, friend. I mean, I fully expect you're going to allow me to be my beloved Georgia Bulldogs, and then I get to pick whatever lowly Division I AA school you get to be.
It's all FBS teams, so.
Okay, then. The Akron Zips.
Oh.
Are they FBS?
You would probably beat me because the game is designed in a way to where Akron physically cannot beat.
Right, like no matter how good you are and bad I am, if you go that level.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I want. Okay. So there you go.
Stacking the deck.
Dogs versus Zips next time around on the Murphy Show on Super Talk. It's an NCAA Football Friday on the Murphy Show.
Let's play odds and evens again. I got one for you.
I bet you do. Do you play Tennessee all the time?
They're my primary team because I'm a Tennessee fan.
Oh, sure. There's nothing wrong with that. And they're nothing but a middle of the road team on this game, so.
On the game, yes. In real life, they're the greatest football team to grace the earth.
By the way, they disparaged the good name of the Tennessee Volunteers by making y'all the 12th hardest venue to play in.
That was the worst ranking I've seen in a while.
And I appreciate the fact that they made Sanford Stadium number 4, and I think that's just a reflection on our 5-year. We haven't lost in 5 years in Sanford.
Tennessee's lost like 2 in 4.
But we don't play our hardest games in Sanford, never have. I mean, we've got several of them coming up in Sanford this year. We got Texas coming in. We got Alabama coming in. I think Ole Miss is at our place too.
You had Tennessee in there last year. That was probably your hardest game.
Mm-hmm. And we, what was that, 31-17, something like that?
It was a good game.
Good game till the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good game in the fourth quarter too for me.
Nico was hurt.
Was he?
Playing injured.
Was he? Well, that's too bad.
His pocket was hurting.
He'll be better this year. His pocketbook.
Yeah.
So NPR and Joe Elmore, thank you all. Thank you. Joe Elmore was the host of Tennessee Crossroads. Tennessee Crossroads, Jackson. It's a show just about, treasures in the state of Tennessee, and he goes around the state, mostly Middle Tennessee, but he goes all over and talks about some of the good things that are happening in this state, great locations where you can go eat, people that are doing unique and interesting things, just an all-around good show.
Question. Ooh, looks like they do food.
Oh, yeah, they do a lot of food, a lot of restaurants. And I didn't know if people paid to be on the show or not. I don't think they do, but they're just interested in Tennessee stories for a Tennessee audience. Does NPR or PBS have local weather for emergencies? 10, 12, I'm not aware of them. This Catherine Marr says that they do, but I was never aware that that was the case. We get our emergency weather from the National Weather Service. We get our emergency weather from some of the other forecasting agencies that are federal in nature, but I can't tell you when I've ever gotten weather information from NPR or from PBS. Senator Ted Cruz had a few things to say, and he didn't hold back.
Public broadcasting has long been overtaken by partisan activists, plain and simple. This isn't just an abstract critique. NPR and PBS have revealed their left-wing bias time and time again. Exhibit A, after the New York Post broke the Hunter Biden laptop story, NPR ran political cover for the Democrats, refusing to cover the story. Quote, "We don't want to waste listeners' and readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions." Mind you, the story was true. That's why they didn't want to cover it. As for PBS, its coverage of last year's DNC was only 12% negative. The RNC, a staggering 72% negative. If you want to watch left-wing propaganda, turn on MSNBC. But the taxpayers should not be forced to subsidize it. I urge a no vote on this amendment.
Yes, so it got a no vote, and it moves over to the House of Representatives. Now, once again, for those just joining us on the show, the House of Representatives has to approve this before tomorrow. Otherwise, you have to reset the cycle, and you begin another 45-day cycle. Let us hope that the House of Representatives actually does so. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to get in on the show, 615-737-9986. Caroline Leavitt took to the podium for a press conference today, and she discussed a matter of concern to those who noticed that the presidential ankles looked somewhat swollen. They look more like presidential cankles, if you will. This happened recently when he made an appearance at a FIFA World Cup game. He was sitting there, and you couldn't help but notice that his ankles looked swollen. Caroline Leavitt made an announcement that Donald Trump has now been looked at by his doctor, and this is what he had to say.
On another note, I know that many in the media have been speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House Medical Unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here. So the president wanted me to share that note with all of you. I'm happy to take further questions on it. We will provide the memorandum from the president's physician to all of you, as we always do.
Okay, so that is the bottom line on the president's health. The ankle issue was just ankle swelling. I mean, it is a normal thing that as you get older, your arteries, I think I have this right, your arteries pump it out and your veins bring it back. Is that right? And arteries pump it out, veins bring it back. And sometimes as you get older, it's a little more difficult for the veins to get it back. And so the president, and that leads to the swelling. So it is not a serious matter. It is, as you get older, these things happen. I think that Caroline Leavitt, the president's doctor, and the president himself, they were keen to get this information to the American public for a couple of reasons. Number one, the American public deserves it. We deserve to know if our president of the United States is in poor health. We deserve to know what's going on with our president of the United States, particularly if it's something more of a serious nature. And they wanted to quickly let the American people and the world know that this was not something serious. Secondarily, I think it is of note that they are being very quick to report on this in the absence of accurate and timely information about the previous president's health, especially when it came to his mental health. We still don't have straight answers about the president's mental health. And as a matter of fact, I would dare say that Jake Tapper and #NeverCNN, just what I've observed over the last 2.5 hours today, they've covered more on Donald Trump's ankles than they ever damn covered on Joe Biden's brain. Oh, after the fact, it was just fine. And after the fact, we'll write a book about it. And after the fact, we'll tell you all about what we didn't know at the time that we should have known. But they did know. And we know they knew. And they know we know they knew. They just covered it up like a turd in a litter box, hoping that it wouldn't stink. And it did. I say all that to say it's nice that this president is forthcoming. Donald Trump's probably not the most physically fit 79-year-old, but, he's pretty fit, especially for a guy that carries a little weight on him. I mean, he goes out, he plays golf, he does his thing. He's up at sunrise, he's up till sundown and even beyond, gets less sleep than me, more fit than me, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't eat very well. But who does? Who does? So that's the health update for the president of the United States of America. Isn't it nice that we actually get one as opposed to what we got for 4 years in the Biden administration, which is, oh, he's A-OK. And there he is staring off into the wilderness or walking into the woods. And you're like, obviously this dude's not A-OK. Congressman Tim Burchett coming up next. We'll take a quick time out. Hopefully Tim can hold on, pick him up, and let him know we'll be back to him in just a moment. It's 20 after the hour on Super Talk. All right, thank you, friends. This next guest does not have a lot of time. We were keeping him holding there. Want to get right to him. He's Congressman Tim Burchett. I believe he is either on or near the floor of the House of Representatives as votes have been stalled for a little bit, but we wanted to get an update from Congressman Burchett. Thank you for being on with us, Tim. Good afternoon.
Hey, thank you for having me on always. We'll talk as long as we can.
Well, you just let me know when you have to go, and obviously we understand that. But I'm excited. Look, you know that I was trepidatious. I did not know, and I feel like you were the same way. There was a lot of good in the BBL that is now coming out of it, but I didn't know if we bit enough of that apple when we had the opportunity. But here we go. We're trying to get some rescission going, something that's not happened in the United States Senate in well over 2 decades, if not longer. And I'm excited that we can get some of these cuts codified in the House. How excited are you, and do you believe we'll get it past the finish line today or tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so, either today or early tomorrow. There's a holdup because of the Epstein stuff, but it's coming. It's going to be good. But you got to realize, under the Biden administration, we put $1 trillion on our debt every 100 days. So we got to get. There's a lot more we can do, and we've got to do a lot more. That's all there is to it. We cannot continue to be the world's checkbook, and we got to quit sponsoring all this craziness all over the world that we don't even realize what we're doing, and we're stealing the money from you all because the money comes back to Washington in the form of dark money or possibly even cash for politicians. I know that might come as a shock to you or your listeners, but there's some crooked people in this town.
Well, and a lot of this money, or some of the money, I won't say a lot, a little over $1 billion, I believe, will be an effort to defund what is known as public broadcasting, television and radio. But these broadcasts have not been fair-handed. They've not been even-keeled for a long, long time. And,
No.
I mean, rational observers know this. This is not, for me at least, Tim, and because, I watch Tennessee Crossroads from time to time. I watch Antiques Roadshow. I mean, I see some of these things, but these programs will continue beyond any federal funding if there is an appetite for them.
It's a small percentage, and let the market decide. It's just we're not making. I remember when I was taking a shop class in junior high school in Knoxville, Bearden Junior High School, and the shop teacher said, "My shop teacher, we made coal clinkers, and they're to pull the bad pieces of coal out of the furnace." And he said, and nobody had a coal-fired furnace, but we just did it because that's what we always did. And that's what we do in Congress. Just because we always did doesn't mean it's the greatest thing in the world. We have got to quit with this nonsense, with all these crazy woke programs all over the world, and it's just got to stop. It's got to stop now, and this is how we're going to do it.
Tim, while I have you've had some pretty strong comments over the last several days when asked about the Epstein deal. I had Scott Desjardins on earlier today, and I kind of compared the way that Pam Bondi's office has handled this as you're making an error in the field. I know you play in the congressional baseball game every year, and I'm not off the team. I'm not off Team Trump when I recognize that one of our outfielders bobbled the ball, right? And I just feel like they've bobbled this ball over the Epstein files to the point that it's got a lot of folks scratching their head. Where are you on this?
I'm exactly where I was every day for the last 4 years. I want to hang anybody messing with kids. I passed some of the toughest laws in the state of Tennessee. We did the first ICAC teams when I was a state senator, Internet Crimes Against Children, where they literally will get on the computer and act like kids and catch those dirt bags. I passed a bill to give them the death penalty. It was ruled unconstitutional, and since they've redone it, and now it is constitutional in Tennessee, which it should be. Chemical castration, things like that I passed, or I tried to pass, and I went after them. Toughest laws in the country, no question. And so I ultimately, though, I don't answer to the voters, and I don't answer to the president. I answer to God and my Creator. Jesus said, "How you treat the least amongst you is how you treat me." And surely our children are the least amongst us. And allowing this to go on, I think, and the public sees this stuff, and they don't trust government for good reason. And allowing it to continue, I think, sends a massive message to the dirt bags and to the people that have been crushed by this stuff. I've held the hands of people that have been abused, and they carry a life sentence. There's no question. They carry a life sentence. And we have got to punish these people, and we've got to go at them. And I don't care if it's royalty in England or some billionaire in this country, but if they mess with a child with public executions, I'm over it. I am so over it, and I'm tired of people making excuses.
I'm in favor of, and I don't say this lightly. I've studied the issue too, Tim. And it sounds like, obviously you have, to the point that you've passed good legislation over it. Based on the irredeemable quality of the individuals that you're talking about, and based on the fact that you truly do take a life. If you're talking about the forcible rape of a child, you've taken that child's life. That child may live and grow up and live a relatively normal life, but you've taken the person that was. I think the death penalty is the only appropriate punishment.
I agree. And one other thing, the Democrats are making a lot of hay out of it now, and the liberal media is playing it up. Where the heck were they the last 4 years?
Amen.
Under the Biden administration?
Amen.
And don't tell me Trump's on some stupid list, because if he is on that list, Biden would have had it out the first day.
100%.
No question.
100%.
And so let's get past that. I don't know what everybody's wanting to know. What's Trump's mean when he says this stuff? I don't know. He didn't say it to me. I don't care. I'm a big boy. I've been in this game a long time, and I can take a little criticism, so that doesn't bother me. I just ultimately, again, I'm going to answer to my Creator, and I'm not going to answer to anybody else, and I need to go there with a clear conscience.
Congressman, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of time on short notice. I know you guys have a lot of votes, and it's a fluid situation in D.C. Thank you for representing us in the way that you do. We so appreciate you, Tim.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
I really appreciate you.
All right, man. We'll talk to you again soon. There's Tim Burchett joining us for a few moments. Time for news on Super Talk. Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. All right, Keith wants to talk about Donald Trump's ankles. We've got nincompoops coming up. Now, Harper is back in the news closet. He's also in the traffic center. Jay, are we including you in nincompoops? You too busy?
Well, I can give it a try.
All right.
I can give it a try.
You just told me one that might be a pretty good nincompoop, but I got to share it. So, obviously there's a lot of resources back in the newsroom. And Jay is privy to all of them, a lot of different news organizations, a lot of different newscasts. And now's the time where you get some of those national newscasts that used to mean something when it was Walter Cronkite or whatever, right. Peter Jennings. But you said that, do I have this right, that NBC went 8 full minutes on Trump's ankles?
Yeah. I mean, they led their newscast off, which comes on the air at 5:30 our time. Yeah. And I've got this monitor in here.
That's right.
And they led the news, breaking news, top of the, their lead story was Trump's ankles, and they kept showing pictures of him sitting at the FIFA World Cup, and they were zooming in on his ankles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They worry about his ankles way more than they worried about Biden's brain. And they just spent more time on Trump's ankles than they ever would on it. I mean,
it's almost laughable.
Well, it's sad.
Yeah. And a lot of close-ups of his hands that had some flesh-colored makeup on them to cover up the bruising. So, a lot of zooming in on his hands as well.
Well, Donald Trump's one of the more fit 79-year-olds. I mean, especially, and I'm not throwing shade at Donald Trump, but I mean, Donald Trump's a little on the plus side. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm a little on the plus side.
Yeah,
Jack's a little on. We're all a little on the plus side, right?
Exactly.
Anyway, Keith wants to talk real quick before Nincompoops. Keith, what do you got on Trump's ankles, my friend?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Don't want to mess with the red letter part of the day, so I'll make this quick. A bit of a cautionary tale with Trump. My dad in 1999 suffered a mild/major heart attack. I had to have quadruple bypass surgery. Came through that fine. After a couple of months, he was back home, and by the end of that year, he was back to probably better health than what he was when he went in. But they had cautioned him, you have some problems with your valves, and you're eventually going to have to address that, but we didn't want to address it then because your body went through enough trauma with 4 bypasses. So fast forward to 2016, in February, my dad was going to work out. He tried to keep himself in good shape, had lost a good amount of weight, and as he was changing clothes to go, my mom noticed that his ankles were very, very swollen and urged him to get to the doctor right away. That turned into being hospitalized at Murray Regional in Columbia, then transferred to Vanderbilt for valve surgery. Now, not to be an alarmist, the valve surgery itself went well. So if President Trump eventually has to have some kind of valve surgery, there's a high level of success with it. That being said, it does put a little more stress on your body. 2 days later, as they started to get him up and have him move around and start rehab, he suffered a stroke.
Oh, wow.
The doctors said we can't say for certain that the stroke was caused by the procedure, but with the stress on the body and the trauma on the body, we can't rule it out either. And to end it, a month and a half later, my dad was gone.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, not to alarm any of us Trump supporters, but this could take a bad turn if he doesn't follow doctor's advice and get things done in due course.
Well, I mean, what I heard today, unless we think that the Trump people are lying to us, they seem to believe that there's not any extreme cause for concern. So you're 79. I mean, I suppose there's always cause for concern. That's kind of your point.
And my dad was 74 when this happened. So,
oh, wow.
And I understand he has, he has great doctors. There's a lot of great doctors at Vanderbilt.
Right.
But just a cautionary tale. Let's, not just set this aside and saying, oh, he's got a little medical problem. It's not a big deal.
Well, I mean, I just have to trust that he has the best medical professionals available to him to make sure that they're getting the job done. Otherwise, you just have to trust in that and trust in the good Lord. And Keith, no, I'm sorry about your dad. That's tough, man. Just to update people who are just joining us, the examination was done for swelling of the legs. It was diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, which is typical for someone Trump's age. Underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular study. And the letter said that bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. So there's that. And now there's this. It's time for the nincompoops, friends. Let's do this. News. Oh, yeah. By now, you know what the news is. I mean, Jay Harper's been delivering it. I've been opining on said same. Now it's time to look all over the state of Tennessee, the United States of America, nay, the globe, and let us find the nincompoops, where they live and breathe, and present them to you. Jay's got a story, Jackson's got a story, Matt's got a story, and you've got to vote. 615-737-9986. At the completion of these stories, you get to vote on your favorite nincompoop of the day. We'll tally those votes and deliver the results to you around the 6 o'clock hour.
Vote for me.
I want come on now. Shameless lobbying will get you nowhere. Or I don't know, maybe somewhere.
Maybe.
I get to go first, though, because I won yesterday.
I don't remember those results being announced.
They were.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jackson, unless I missed them.
Oh, yeah. They were. I think that happened during
I don't know, man.
During a commercial break.
I think so. It sounds rigged, man.
This is before or after you said the F word?
I said the F word 2 days ago, Jackson. That's old news. I guarantee you my nincompoop at one time or another has said the F word as a result of his nincompoopery. I take you to a concert of Coldplay. A Kiss.
Oh, this is a good one.
This is a great story. And these people are nincompoops because it's time for them to face the music. Y'all know what a Kiss Cam is, right? Kiss Cam? Kiss Cam.
Yes.
Happens at sporting events all the time. Sometimes happens at concerts. A Kiss Cam moment broadcast at a Coldplay concert struck a scandalous note when it apparently exposed a cheating tech tycoon and his head of HR mistress as the band's frontman, Chris Martin, mused that they must be having an affair. The couple, identified as astronomer CEO Andy Byron and the firm's chief health resources officer, Kristen Cabell, scrambled to hide their faces when they were caught on the Jumbotron canoodling at Gillette Stadium near Boston Wednesday night. As the camera panned toward them, Byron had his arms around her chest, and Cabot had her fingers intertwined with his. When they realized that they were on the screen, it prompted Cabot to fling her hands over her face and quickly turn around while Byron ducked his head out of view. As that happened, Martin thought the camera had captured a sweet moment. He said, "Hey, look at these two," he said tenderly. But when their reaction turned, it left him confused. "Oh," Martin can be heard on stage saying, "either they're having an affair or just very shy." It was the first option, buddy. And then he said, "Holy bleep, I hope we didn't do something bad." But this is not what makes this dude a nincompoop. Andy Byron has now taken to the X machine.
Oh, no.
And he has offered a statement. All right, so this guy got caught cheating. All right? And look, I don't know what his circumstances are. I'm not, my favorite phrase, I'm not casting aspersions except to say you're an absolute nincompoop. You were in a suite, you moron. Be a little more discreet. You're not just in a crowd of 70,000 people. You're in a suite where people can see you, you dumb, you know what? Oh, but here comes Andy with his statement. Get ready for it. I got to go quick because I know you got stories. I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circulating online and the disappointment it's caused. What was supposed to be a night of music and joy turned into a deeply personal mistake playing out on a very public stage. I want to apologize to my wife, my family, and the team at Astronomer. You deserve better from me as a partner, a father, and a leader. This is not who I want to be or how I want to represent the company I helped build. I'm taking the time to reflect, to take accountability, and to figure out next steps personally and professionally. I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. All right, up until there, fine. That's a standard statement. Here's the part that makes him a nincompoop. I also want to express how troubling it is that we should have a private moment become public without my consent. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, we ought to just surrender and name Matt the winner.
What? I mean, so you take your mistress to a concert, to a suite, you get caught on camera, and you're blaming Coldplay? Come on now. All right, Jackson, go quick.
All right, naked man arrested in Charlotte County accused of charging deputy and threatening bystanders. This comes from Inglewood, Florida. A man completely naked was arrested Saturday in Inglewood after being accused of charging at a deputy and threatening bystanders, including a woman with a baby. According to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded to the area of Placida Road and Florida Avenue on reports of a naked man in public yelling profanities and threatening to harm people, including the woman who was carrying the baby. Officers arrived at the scene and found 40-year-old Justin Groove Miller completely naked and yelling at unknown subjects. According to deputies, Miller ran towards a Dollar General in the area when he observed deputies approaching. Deputies followed Miller into the store and tased him twice after he failed to follow verbal commands. Miller managed to escape and began running through the Dollar General parking lot, exposing himself completely to other patrons. At this time, Miller charged directly towards a deputy on the scene and forcibly ran through the officer. Miller was taken into custody soon after for resisting with violence, battery on a law enforcement officer, and exposure of sexual organs to the public.
Miller later on said, it's a shame that my private moments were exposed to the general public.
Yes, absolutely.
Yada.
In a DG.
Dollar General.
You're liable to see anything at the good old DG.
Usually it's Walmart, but
that Walmart's pretty good.
DG. Yeah. I've seen some things at the DG.
Either way, 1 o'clock in the morning, you're going to see some things. Mr. Harper, your story, sir.
All right, I'm going to try to make this work. This is actually an exchange between a hotel clerk and somebody who is calling in who has a reservation. This story says that, again, they got this call on the phone, and I'll go through this here, and hopefully this will make some sense. So the person, the clerk, answers the phone. Hello, Holiday Inn. How can I help you? And the customer is, well, hey there. I'm from Nevada, and I was wondering if y'all took U.S. dollars down there. And the clerk is like, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I'm from Nevada. In the United States, do you take U.S. dollars down there? Sir, this is a Holiday Inn in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Maybe you've called the wrong number. No, I've got a stay scheduled with you. And the person checked, and yeah, they do. And the customer proceeds to say, we're going on vacation, and my girlfriend and I, we were wondering if you'd take U.S. dollars over in New Mexico.
Jeez.
And the person says, well, yeah, we do. Sir, New Mexico is part of the United States. The customer says, no, it's not. New Mexico's part of Mexico. And the person says, well, do you really think, is New England part of England? And the customer says, you mean it's not?
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, that's
an nincompoop.
That was an exchange that apparently it was confirmed on this website.
I forget what the segment was called, but my in-laws are from New Mexico, right? My father-in-law lived out there for a period of time. My mother-in-law was from there, grew up in Roswell, New Mexico, Jay. And in New Mexico Magazine, just about every state has one of these, right?
Right.
In New Mexico Magazine, which they have a subscription to, on the back of the magazine, there's a page, and I forget what it's called. I think it's called like the 51st state or something like that, that's dedicated to this, where repeatedly people think that New Mexico is Mexico.
Is part, yeah. I mean, I read this and I'm like, come on, this has got to be a gag. But apparently, this, as you say, this happens more often than you would.
Y'all take pesos down there or dollar bills, or what are y'all doing down there?
What kind of money you take down there?
You know, if I'm the Holiday Inn clerk, I'll just say, be sure to bring your passport.
Yeah.
Got to bring your passport down here. All right, that does it for Nick Capone Said the News. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 54 minutes after the hour. Vote Murphy, vote Williams, vote Harper, but vote. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. One more hour to go on Super Talk.